Hi, this is Rebecca, and I'm here for you now with a message about discerning for yourself the difference between when you're operating from the truth of your being, the truth of what you are, and the times you may be operating through the lens of what you call the ego. Now, the times where for many people this has become a little sticky is actually in terms of what you might refer to as your spiritual path. Now, what we call the ego, again, isn't bad or evil or terrible. It's just a particular structure that thinks that it's separate and it operates from that understanding. Now, our task, if there is one, is to embrace all of what we already are in the presence of love. And that includes what we call our ego. But some of the ways that you can determine as you're moving through life what your point of identification is at that moment are to just check for a few things. One of them may be that, for example, from the point of view of the ego, even for what you call your spiritual path, the movement will come with a sense of a push from behind, right? What we call the ego, the structure that it's set up on, is very much a reactive one. So when that's in operation, you'll have a sense that there's something that has to be done because otherwise there's going to be trouble. So that push from behind, that driving you to get away from or avoid something that you perceive as problematic or dangerous to you or that you just don't like. In contrast, your natural movement is one of a just flowing forward. There's just a forward movement where it's an opening, it's a creative movement, it's a thriving versus the survival push that's through the structure of the ego. And when you're in that natural forward, continuously opening and thriving and blossoming movement, if there is anything you perceive as being exerted, instead of this push from behind, it will come more in a sense of a beckoning forward. It will just be, ooh, come see this, just because it's what's next. And that natural movement will be very smooth and joyous and loving and peaceful. And again, it's always a creativeness and a thriving and an opening versus that reactive push from behind that says, this is what has to happen or else something negative. So I invite you to begin to check for where your identification is at any moment. Are you moving from the idea that you're identified with what you call the ego? Are you allowing your natural movement to unfold in each moment? And of course, remember that love is all there is.